Hey, this is the Tree Come production workshop supported by Sword Foundation. Now, if you know me, you know I'll show you guys behind the scene process. It's always rough, unrefined. Let me show you what it took for me to get to the workshop I attended recently. So I had to travel from Lagos to Enugu, and on the day it rained like hell. It felt like all the forces of nature didn't want me to go for this workshop. This is 4:30. On my way now to the airport for the program. Unfortunately, they've locked the gates of our estate. The security people are not here. When I tell you that every factor was running against me, I meant it. Because why the hell was the security guy not there on this particular day? And I had a 6:30 flight. Oh my god, it was so scary. We went to a different section and then we were begging people to open their areas. The kind of flood that took place on August 4th, I would never forget it. I begged security that night. I almost turned back and went back to my house. I'm like, oh, Edu, you're going to wait till next year. God being on my side, I made it to the airport. You would think that was the end of my problems, right? Don't get me started. So a night before this flight, I ate something and I had food poisoning. So my stomach was swollen. I was suffering inside the aeroplane. Suffering. My stomach was swollen. I had constipation. I bought drugs from the airport. Like, it was torture. Look at my face. Like, oh my god. There's this girl on the flight, shout out to her. She really helped me. She got me drugs. She got me okpa from her pockets. Anyway, I made it to Enugu. Now, since I came a day before the event, I visited my university, Caritas University. Then I went to Tastia restaurant. I had lunch. It was really, really good. Enugu people can cook. Again, I schooled here for 4 years, so I know this for a fact. So I lodged in a hotel a day before the event, and then on the day of the event, I checked into Best Western Plus Enugu, where the event was taking place and where we were accommodated. And the Spirit of God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Girl is here. There's so many content out there that are focused on women, their struggles, social issues, rape, domestic violence, and they are told in the most cruel way, in the most uncivilized manner, in a way that have no regard and no respect for women. And this workshop is to train us as content creators, activists, documentary storytellers, poets, everybody in the entertainment sector on how we can do better in reporting and telling the stories as they affect women. It's time for the one, and this is my feed for today.
This is really why it's important that you guys as storytellers understand the power that you have.
You change her name from Dalit to Mama Kechi because she has had children. That is violence. Because you are psychologically beginning to violate her. When you get to the point where, okay, you're a big man, and then you give your wife for 10,000 a month allowance, meanwhile she's doing all the work at home. That's violence. It might not be physical violence. There is economic violence is even more. Yeah. Physical violence against women and girls. Now, Jaku is a well-respected documentary filmmaker.
She is the founder of ENIF Nigeria, that is Eastern Nigeria International Film Fest. She talks about the power of storytelling to shift gender norms. I spent this workshop taking a lot of pictures and content for my colleagues. Whatever comes naturally to you, do it. We're done with day one. I am so tired. Then I had lunch, onobo soup, came outside to enjoy the view, and then went to sleep. Now this was day 2. Now this clip is just me being vain. I was just admiring myself at the elevator, walking to the location of the workshop and just catching fun. Hey guys! This is day 2 of a workshop organized by 3Com Production on using entertainment media to combat gender-based violence in Nigeria. It has been impactful so far and I am so excited to be here.
Anybody at all stops you from making money or cuts down your source of income or collects the one that you have made. That woman that when she goes out and sells her oil and comes back, her husband will beat her and collect the money from her. Is economic abuse.
Next, we had a section by Mr. Ike Nebwe on using marketing techniques to promote positive gender norms for women. Then after that, we're done for day 2. I went to eat, and we're moving on now to day 3. Hey, this is day 3. Once again, the next 30 seconds is dedicated to me being vain and just admire myself again, because come on, let's not take it too seriously. I had breakfast before the section started. There's one of the creators I met there. His name is Kenneth. He's literally super hilarious.
When I say pre-production, that means full scripts ready, check, actors casting done, location ready.
Next section was by Reverend Francis Ojukwu, and he talked about the role of religion in combating GBV in the society. Immediately after his section, we had another section by Uche Nwora. He talked about the role of the traditional system in combating gender-based violence in the society.
Gender-based violence, GBV.
Then I ate abacha, and then we started a powerful section on Afia Attack by Uduaku Akukwi. Enjoy.
And this one tells the story of women. And the reality is that statistics tell us that women actually suffer more during times of crisis, because the men will go out, maybe the men will be carried out to go and fight, but the women are the ones that keep things going on. They protect the children, they're ready to run when anything happens. They share more of the load at the bottom.
There is something these women must have done that's making people shy away from that society where we embrace the culture of silence. I felt like it's about time to, but I also think it's a society way of making the woman shrink, right? Women are very, when it comes to showcasing inner strengths, women have shown in so many ways that they have the will to do even more than, this is not to like compare, but women have shown to have the strength. So during the Biafra War, for instance, it's important to know that not all the men were conscripted into the war, right? Because a lot of them had to run. Their wives played an instrumental role in taking them to hide them in the forest. And these women will actually meet them in the forest, go to cross behind the enemy line, sometimes take like 2-3 months, return, find their husband in the forest, and still feed them, and return.
So there was a lot of research that had to be done. Most of these women were probably, by the tail end of their lives at that point. Talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you had putting this together.
So like I mentioned earlier, like I think the youngest that was, I think she was 65 at the time. So these women were speaking about Africa. The majority of them, they were interviewed a lot more people than was just showing there. So they were in their 80s, the oldest is in 85. It was difficult because we couldn't find stories about Africa everywhere, just a little bit here and there. We started talking to people, and nobody would want to put their parents. So that was why when I was telling the story, I was being mindful of our society. I was also being so protective of these women, and also trying to tell the story in a way that's also going to shield them. But majority of them, they are speaking up for the first time that even their own children, they are not even aware that they were part of the trade. It also brought healing to a lot of families, but some of them that didn't make it to the court was because it's unraveled a lot of dark secrets. It wasn't easy, the things I discovered along the way. So I said to myself that I have to tell this story in a way that's also going to protect families. It wasn't easy.
It was trauma for them and trauma for you.
Recently, like that I'll talk about Afia Attack and not cry. Before, like during Q&A, I'll start crying. I don't cry anymore when I talk about Afia Attack because I feel good about bringing closure. Because and some of the women, you have to get them mental health specialists to like look at them, work with them, talk with them, so they can release that trauma at least. Guess what? They have carried this trauma 50 years after the war because they were young children at that time. The young lady that was 65 was a teenager. So she was a teenager during the war. She was one of those that they took to the north. So you can imagine it was tough. None of these women had to do things they were not proud of. That rushing to their husbands, to their, I know Igbo men how they feel about their women, right? So some of them, their wives, daughters, sisters, and a lot of these women had to do a lot of things that they were not proud of, and the men were also not proud of. So when you talk, and some men actually also did actually attack, but majority were women. So it's something like a dark history in Igbo society. Like people don't want to say that, okay, there is somebody that did that attack in my family. Because of a lot of things, it's going to bring up, because you now begin to like look at your brother, are you really my brother, or are you found somewhere else? Do you understand? It was just like a taboo, a shameful thing. Nobody wants that kind of stigma sticking to their family name.
And today is the last day of the workshop, and I'm off to see my parents. I'm in Cross River State. Bye.